Hey folks, this is Shantron here, and welcome to my corner of the internet. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Grym fight, and this one had some surprises for me, I must admit. This is for the Untouchable challenge. I'm playing solo, except for some camp buffs, and I'm not allowed to take any real points of damage. Okay, so here we go. We are standing on the upper levels and are just going down here. I've tried to place my pets in the positions I want them to be in, just in a second as well. Once down, I'm gonna use my second marriage wand here to summon Kana, which I actually remembered to do for this fight. Click him off so he doesn't follow me and go to my position. I'm gonna cast Enhanced Leap on the skeleton, just so it actually has some amount of jump distance. And then we're gonna start the fight over here, with Shovel specifically. Go straight into invisibility after clicking the wheel. The way you click the wheel with Shovel is you attack it. It works with every pet. And then from invisibility, before Grym sees any of the other ones, that's why they are placed where they are, we attack so that we actually have surprise. The surprise is nice enough. It's not going to be too relevant, because it's not like a race to the finish with Grym here. But it is nice to be able to get stuff into position. It also gives me more chances to land the muddy debuff on him, which is going to be pretty relevant for this fight. As we have noticed previously, Muddy debuff takes away their ability to make reactions, which means it takes away their legendary abilities. In this case, he is going to use his legendary ability once, but that's just because of something. We do the bless here. The methods deal bludgeoning damage, and that is the way to deal with Grym, basically. So I want the bless on them. Synthar also has a bludgeoning melee weapon equipped, but it doesn't deal like a lot of damage. So we are going to be alternating between that and the shots. Probably mostly using the shots, even if they don't deal a lot of damage, to be honest. But just using the mechanics of the fight instead. At this point, I'm going to open with a shot on him, rather than going for the methods first. I know this is going to trigger his legendary reaction, but it also gives him reparation and lowers his dexterity. So now he has quite a big debuff to his dexterity saves, which means we're gonna have a lot better time of landing the Marty. And as long as it's in the beginning here, the legendary boom he can do is not too bad, because we can just stay away from him, to be honest. I want to shoot with the sheriff. No, I want to shoot with the skeleton here, because I wanted to see whether or not I was lucky, and I was. So it triggered there, which means I can go for the melee attack with Synthar. Otherwise, I would just have shot with Synthar instead to get the legendary action to trigger without anyone being in melee. As you can see, it's only 12 damage from Synthar's pretty weak melee attack there, even if it's bludgeoning. Whereas the methods actually deal more. So those are going to be our primary damage dealers in this fight. And Synthar is mostly just going to be taking care of the mechanics, luring, and all that stuff. I have the skeleton for that as well. We're going to be alternating a bit who does what. Kana is standing over here. His job is to pull the lever when I need it. And that's about it. So I'm going to try to get Muddy on the boss for every single round, except for when he gets pummeled by the big hammer stuff. So at this point, I am going to jump into the middle. I don't think I should do that yet, actually. I think I should open with Muddy, but this is fine. Let's get the mod on it now. If I had stayed with Synthar, I might have been able to use my melee attack instead of a shot as my primary action. It's all about the direction of the attacks, on the order of the attacks. That's a very low amount of damage from the method there. I go to check, and I think it's minimum damage. Good. Let's get the methods away. Shovel is a bit away as well. And now we just need to... Oh, might as well go and attack, to be honest. It's a little bit of damage, and it all counts, I guess. But doesn't really do a lot. Now we just need to have one of these guys hit in order to get the bait to land. And Synthar did it there. If I had stayed in melee with Synthar, I would have been able to do the melee attack and then jump away. And it would have been the same thing. I'd just been able to use the melee attack instead of a shot. I don't actually know which deals more damage. I think the melee attack is supposed to, with bludgeoning, even though it's pretty much weaker than my ranged one. He's also immune to necrotic damage, so I'm not going to be using the necrotic halo on him too much. I might use it at times to to make sure to get the primary target bait thing.
Nothing important is ever easy.
So the lava goes away, which is very inconsistent, whether or not it's going to do that. Sometimes it lasts all fight, sometimes it keeps going away all the time. It's weird. That's a lot of small bugs with this. It's saved against the Mud Breath, which means I'll have to do it with the other method as well. Unfortunately, not getting any more attacks this turn with them. But at least we landed it there. It's pretty relevant that it doesn't get to move its full turn this turn. If it had done so last time, it would have just been standing at the hammer already, which would have been fine. But if it got to move its full movement this turn, it would be less ideal.
I'm coming for you.
Moving into a good position out on the actual, I don't know what it's called, mold holder. Whatever. And just repositioning a bit so as to make sure that no one is standing in lava before I redo the lava. Then we need to bait with either the skeleton or Synthor. We can do the lava again. Methods are nice for this fight also because they are flying, so they can go and attack Grym while he's out in the lava, which is quite nice. Let's see if we can't get him to stand actually on top of this hammer now. Seems awesome. He's gonna be knocked prone and by the hammer in a second, so it doesn't matter too much to get muddy on him this round. So we're gonna try to put a bit of damage into him as well. Also because the more damage we can get into him before we does the hammer, as long as we don't get enough so that he triggers his second phase, the better. That's sort of the point. So try again for more damage here. The crit before was nice, of course. I'm contemplating whether or not I should do the muddy and I should not. And then we can fly the methods away again. He's still muddied up. It just falls off at the start of his turn. So they can still fly away without getting attacks opportunity, and he doesn't get his legendary reaction. Having to use actions to jump around here is a little sad, but it's still fine. So now Connor gets to do his one thing. Go and slam this thing. Yeah. And that was awesome. Methods spawn in, and apparently they are not... usually when they spawn in, it takes a turn before they get to act, and that would be shown by them having hourglasses and being grayed out, and they're not in the initiative order, so I'm under the assumption that they're going to be acting soon. I saved my actions to be able to shoot them, and at this point I was just checking around why the damage didn't show up correctly, but that's just a UI error, I think. I also click one of the no-action healing items to get my poison here, to be able to use the Halo against Grym in a second. Good. The methods should die. I kill the one first that's in the middle of my initiative, just to not have any trouble with that. And then an Ice Arrow to deal enough damage to the second one so that it should die from a shot from the skeleton. The skeleton can kill them in one attack, but it's not, like, certain to do so. As you would see, that would only been 14, so the Ice Arrow, I think, was quite relevant there. Methods have already used their attacks on Grym, so they won't be able to do a lot. I can just put them in a better position. I think I'm messing a little around here by putting the skeleton over there. I had a plan for where to bait Grym, and I basically don't want Shovel or the skeleton to be in range of his stump attack when he does the Quake. Trying to see if I can land this here to bait, or if I have to use my bonus action, and I landed it, which means I have the bonus action, or not the bonus action, the last action left to kill another method, which is awesome. And since he's prone now, he will be using a lot of movement and won't be able to reach and attack Synthar, so that should be fine. I think he's only gonna stand up and not do anything, but I'm not entirely certain. Shovel goes in this here, which actually ends up being a mistake. I just didn't want the methods to go for her. And the only thing Grym does is stand up, which is awesome. Would have been sweet, of course, if for some reason he had walked into the lava and done nothing else, but it's probably too much to act. But also notice that the methods did not end up acting, which means that I moved Kana over there to bait them without reason, and I also put Shovel into invisibility without reason. I am trying to get Muddy back on Grym, which works with the first one, which is awesome. And now we just have to kill the last couple of methods, and we can start really dealing with Grym here.
I won't give in.
Synthar should be able to, if you look at the color of his movement line, he should be able to go and shoot this one without stepping in lava. I decided to trust it there, which might have been too trustful, because sometimes the game is not really truthful with those sorts of facts. So Skeleton gets to a position where it can shoot the Method. If I'm lucky and get the kill here, I don't have to use Synthar's actions or a Method action on it, which is awesome. And now we can go and attack. But I think I actually forget using the Method there. You definitely have gone and attacked and flown away again afterwards. But I don't do it, and then I bait with the Synthar here. And I used the Halo first because I want to change my boots to the Boots of Striding. In theory, as you can see, I have Detect Thoughts as a spell I'm concentrating on. So in theory, this should mean that I'm immune to the prone effect from his Quake. And now that I have baited and I don't have any more actions on Synthar, I cannot attack with the Method, because then it's gonna go for the Method instead, and I don't want that. So I've placed Synthar all the way out there. It's supposed to go for him, and then the lava disappears, of course, which is freaking annoying. But instead it goes close enough to do the Quake, and then it turns around and goes for the other ones, making it stand in a good position at least. What also happened was that Synthar got Quaked, and got proned, and lost his concentration thing, even though he had the Boost of Striding on, and even though he succeeded on the concentration save. Which is not supposed to happen, and pretty much messed a lot with what I had planned here. Let's get the lava back on from Shovel, and let's get on with it. At least that part still works, but we're very low on temporary hit points, and we don't have a way to refill them because we have killed the last Method. So there's like a good chance that we could be in trouble here. We need to try and see if we can control it now. If we can get Muddy debuff back on it. As you can see, I'm struggling with having enough movement here because of the prone effect from before, taking half of my movement away. I can still get out there, but I don't think that I can get, like, in a position where Grym is not able to attack me, which is not great. So the plan is now going to be to use a haste potion, which was not intended for this fight, to get extra movement in order to be able to position myself better. I panicked a bit at this moment because Synthar is not really supposed to be standing in middle, he's just supposed to be baiting Grym to middle. So that's like a couple of mistakes going on here, unfortunately. I was a little scared for the run at this point, I must admit. Just being in a position where he could technically just Quake me to kill me, and I didn't have the movement to get away. Jumping to the middle was probably a mistake. Should have stayed on the outer rim, taken the speed potion out there. But I ended up doing this, and then now I just have to sort of work with what I have from here. The positioning is horrible here. For some reason it won't stand on the middle, and nothing is really working the way I wanted to. So what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna Mud Breath this first, and then just fly the Method over to the right position instead. I think in a second at least, yeah, flying it over there so we have them around the speed potion. In this case, we should now be able to break it, and some extra actions with the Methods as well. Which means that maybe... we can't really kill him here, but we can at least kill him with the next Hammerfall. But that's still sketchy. I would have loved to be able to move Synthar away from where he's standing, and still have him bait. There's problems with that. A miss there is not great, but we can still fly away. The other Method tries its Mud Breath, since the first one missed. And luckily we get the Muddy debuff at least. And we can even go for an attack here with advantage as well. Critical hit for 56 points of damage, I think, which was pretty insane. Probably didn't matter too much because it's still low enough to die from a Hammerfall. So I wanted to Misty Step away here. First I'm looking at Blur, but then I decide, oh, maybe if I could get to the position I actually wanted to be in, that would be better. But of course I've already used my my bonus action, and you cannot cast Misty Step with an actual action, which is annoying. So I have to go for the weaker play of trying to blur myself here. I could also have used mirror image, which would probably have been better, to be honest, because if he's going to attack me, and that's what's going to be the trouble, then mirror image is probably just better than blur. When I put on the boots before, I also dismissed my mage armor. It's sort of an unfortunate side effect of the boots, and since they didn't work, it was definitely not a good thing. And then, in the end, I realized that I can just shoot it with the skeleton. And since that hits, it's not gonna be attacking Synthar, and the blur was just a waste. He saves there, and I think that save just saved the run as well. We can disengage now and have Grym in position for the hammer. And still be a little afraid of whatever's going on. Shovel is not able to reach the position because Shovel got knocked prone by the Quake before. That's also why she took 5 points of damage. But the skeleton can. And there we go with the Grim fight over. So, this one had me going. There was some misplays, especially towards the end, and some items that didn't work the way I wanted them to. But thank you for joining, if you have been. I've been Chandran. You've most definitely been awesome. Do not forget to do the YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, and bye-bye.